inside the organization, right? So everyone brace yourself. I'm sure there's one of you who have a desktop like this. I know this gives a lot of people anxiety. I didn't know there's a Canadian flag at the very top. This is not my desktop, I promise you. I promise you that. But this is a metaphor for business data, right? It's always a mess. I know there was a couple people put your hand up. Maybe one of you is telling the truth. But business data is always a mess, right? It's always contained everywhere in paper and pen and documents and all over the place. If we've ever had any critical employee leave the organization, there's always an enormous amount of knowledge debt that kind of gets created out of the back of it. And so when we search for information in an organization, when we try and find it, we spend most of our time at the top. Because we're like Chevy Chase and the National Lampoons. You got that big light of Christmas lights and that knot, and we have to unknot things every single time. And so, but we do very little of the bottom of creating action on that information. Now, with AI search, you can use natural language and how our brains work to be able to find things. And these are the things that you can use the AI platform for. Who is Leah's manager, right? I didn't put her last name in there. Who is that guy who emailed me in July about that GPU sale? That is a real question I asked myself, which I couldn't find the answer to. And can you put in a leave request for Friday for me? Let me know when it's approved, right? So think about your experiences internally in your organizations. And with the Decidr platform and the AI parallel, we're able to connect all of these things. The Decidr system does not need to normalize and structure the data, right? Classically, with any AI development, you have to spend a huge amount of money putting it in rows and columns for the AI to actually work across. The unique architecture that Paul and the team have created, you can put in anything, and the AI can traverse across that without having to normalize that data. And so what we've done for this demo today, we can't show internal CRM systems and stuff like that, and you already know who I am on it. So we've created the first AI organization. It's called Rigel Wolf. It's an accounting company. This is an AI organization from full end to end. What we did was to power this organization, we went to Kaggle. Kaggle is the world's leading source for data to power machine learning and artificial intelligence. And this is a publicly available data set, which we're able to benchmark against. And Rigel Wolf has 300 employees. It's actually had 30 employees that were fired. It has performance reviews. It has a whole bunch of information on those customers. It has pay slips. It has their superannuation here in Australia. That's like 401k for those people watching in the US. And it even has what they think of their managers in the organization. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you Elie. Now, Elie sits on top of the AI parallel for Rigel Wolf. And I've started here on it because it takes a little bit to do it, but we have a magic link. So I just want to show that the Decidr AI parallel is fully SSO compliant, and it works across. So even though you're dumping all kinds of random data into your AI parallel, it can still maintain the permissioning across that, right? That is intelligence which is coming into the AI parallel. So I'm going to show you how Jasmine actually can interact with her HR data in the AI parallel. And so you can see here, I just asked that first question, how much leave do I have? And then I said, like, who are you? Let's confirm. So I gave my email address as Jasmine, and then what it did was it sent me a magic link to my email address, 125335, which now authenticated me as Jasmine. And once it authenticated me, it gave me my leave balance of 3 days, 54 days leave, and annual leave balance of 38 days. So let's watch a couple scenarios of that employee, Jasmine, working through her AI parallel in Elie. So what's my salary? There's my monthly salary, my tax rate, my superannuation rate, which is coming through. And what we've done here is we've actually shown the underlying reference data. That doesn't exist in the forward-facing Elie, but we want to show you how many references it's hitting to be able to provide that information. Now I said, what is my monthly post-tax salary? Right? So it's going across all the pay slips that are available to Jasmine, and it's pulling out that salary information and showing the calculations for it. How much in post-tax have I earned in the last 8 months? Questions people ask themselves often, employees ask themselves often. There it's done the calculation, 54,000 in post-tax. Who is my superannuation provider? I can tell you many people from a past life do not know that, right? And if we all get our normal annual update from our superannuation provider emailed to us. None of us know who our superannuation provider, and definitely none of us know our membership number. So I can say, can I get my membership number? Right? So this is pulling it from the employee record. First State Super. And I'm going to ask, who is my manager? So I think it's Paula. She's the managing partner of Rigel Wolf. Right? There's her email address. Now let's try something with Elie. What is her salary? You know everyone's going to try that, right? That was the first one I put in. Okay, I can't provide the salary information. It's confidential, right? We've put another thing is like everything's being recorded, so that'll stop that right away. And can you give me a list of my direct reports? So Jasmine has 2 direct reports. Julia Zhao and Thomas Murray. Now imagine when you're going into budgeting season and your manager is saying, put me my plan for the next financial year together. What is their combined monthly salary? I can pull their monthly salary out of it. Now also, remember, within the AI parallel are things like employee contracts, benefits programs, even the websites of benefits partners and other intelligence, right? Everything goes in there, right? So I can ask, what is the last time one of them got a raise? We've all had a person come to us and ask us that, right? No, I can never remember. So there it is. Superannuation went up on it for Julia, I think. Yep. And I want to book 5 days off. So what's the process? So there's the Rigel Wolf leave policy for it. Any more than 5 days, I think you have to go, or 10 days, you have to go to the SLT. And then what benefits do we have as an organization? Coming from past life, I know that I can drive employee engagement. I won't give you this for player sales pitch. But it can now list all the benefits simply. Right? Remember, these are documents, huge documents that you're handed as an employee. And then I want to ask, what is a novated lease? Again, quite complicated. And very simply, it explains what a novated lease to a person. And now, if you have a novated lease, you can also probably salary package other things in your organization. And I want to see if I can salary package a mobile phone, which I would highly recommend. So you can, okay? Well, I want to buy a phone. This is how much it costs. What would I pay in post-tax? Right? So you have to remember, it's got to know who I am, right? It has to know my marginal tax rate. It has the price of the phone. It has to know if the phone, if I'm available, if I can pre-tax package it. And there's the approximate cost of $1,000, so I can save $500 on my pre-tax phone. So coming in, that's kind of the end of it. We could go for a long time there, but hopefully it gives you a taste of the power of now traversing that information. So we've done it for HR. Imagine that was a sales team. Imagine you were the CEO of the organization, right? Really quickly, you can ask it, what is my total monthly salary, right? Who are my top performers? Imagine, who are the people who are on the lowest quartile for performance? Those are things that can come to your hands instantly in it. And so Elie changes the way that we can work within the data in our organization. You don't have to spend the time worrying about organizing it. You can actually action that information. And so with Elie, all your company's collective knowledge is in one place, which is really amazing. Elie adapts to your unique company language. Most of you some of you have met me before, but most people call me DCB. So Elie in Decidr knows who I am, right? Because everyone calls me DCB. So it adapts to your organizational knowledge. It maintains your permission. It's completely federated within your environment, so none of your data goes anywhere else. And starting in 2025, Elie will actually be able to action information for you. Book me a leave policy, right? Send an email to this person, so on and so forth. So we're really excited about Elie because we believe it can really add that first production line within the organization to power productivity within the organization. So that's Elie.